A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir la'inir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Welcome to the community conversation, learning from our past and present while moving forward to create our future. In these regular conversations with individuals, we will explore their struggle, achievements, courage and disappointments that shaped and guided their faith, family and community. Today we have Alhaj Gulamhussein Sumar. Gulambhai's journey is an interesting one, having to flee from Zanzibar after Zanzibar Revolution in 1964, stayed in Mwanza for 10 years, and then moving to Maarsta in Sweden, where he was one of the founder members to establish a Khoja Shia Ithna-Asheri Jamaat, went on to become its president and then the vice president of Council of European Jamat. He participated as World Federation councillors for a long time. Welcome, Gulahusseinbhai, to the community conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Sir.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
What do you do presently then?
Sorry?
Are you retired now or are you doing anything?
Yes, I am now moved to London permanently and I'm retired, but active with my grandkids.
All right, but apart from your grandkids, do you do anything, hobbies or anything like that?
No, I help at the back of the scene, helping a few charities in East Africa.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So those charitable work keeps you occupied?
Yeah, quite a bit, yes.
Right. So
yes.
do you occupy any position in the community at the moment?
No.
But community must be coming for advice to you, being past leader of the community and holding...
I wouldn't say advice, but we do discuss with various people.
So you're still interested in community politics?
Oh, yes, very much, yes,
right,
yes,
okay.
yes.
What do you think is the state of our community at the moment?
We are improving. We are improving and it's challenging, and especially when it comes to hujjat with this new project. So a lot is to be desired.
Yes.
Yeah.
But inshallah, I mean, the community has made their mind to move to Harefield. So inshallah, hopefully everything will go smoothly towards that end.
The sooner the better.
So let us begin with where were you born?
Yeah, I was born in Zanzibar. And I stayed there for about 10 years.
Right, okay. How many brothers and sisters you have?
We had 10, 7 sisters and 3 brothers. Okay. Yeah.
And so how was your your primary education and secondary education was in Zanzibar?
Yes, until standard 7, I was in Zanzibar.
What was life like then?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it was very nice. That has... one can never forget.
So that's Zanzibar. In your memory?
Oh, yes.
Well, recall some memory and tell us what was life like then.
Yeah, I still remember my first teacher in standard 1 was a Ithna-Asheri man, Mullah Hassan Ali, and I went to Sir Ewan Smith Madrasa School, most of Ithna-Asheri.
Why is it called a madrasa school?
The name of the school is Sir Ewan Madrasa School. I don't know why, but I think traditionally culture is there.
So Sir Ewan played a part in...
Yes. Unfortunately, I never tried to explore why, but he was a dominant personality in Zanzibar, and that school, which is a big school, about 1,000 students, was named after him. And
majority of our the students were from our community?
Yes, mixed, but I would say because 50% were maybe Ithna-Asheries and then Hindus and Memon. But Ismailis had their own school, Aga Khan school,
Because they were established quite quite widely in Zanzibar, and they had established their institutions also, which was already matured by then, and so they had their own schools and everything.
Yes. Schools they had, and the big Jamaat Khana not far away from our mosque. So the article sometimes that you had mentioned in your book, I visualize that, and that Jamaat Khana is there.
That's right, it's not very far.
Yes, about 3-4 minutes
when I was
walk.
doing my research, I had gone there.
Yes.
So, What was life like with other communities when you were sort of growing up?
Yeah,
like Hindu community,
we did not.
Bohra, Ismaili community.
Yes. We, as a child and as a student there was no differentiation in that. We lived in harmony. Hindus, Bohras, Memons, because we're in school, the streets are narrow, neighbors are there all the time. So I remember even going to Mandir and ring the bell there.
So you've done that?
Yeah, I've done that, yeah. And we exchange tharis of mithai during Eid, and they would bring, and we would receive from our neighbors as well. So it was lovely.
So what was Muharram like in Zanzibar and Ramadan like in Zanzibar? I understand that it's a lot of people who have moved out of Zanzibar never forget the Ashura and the Chalismo and the Ramadan in Zanzibar.
Yes,
is that so?
It is. That memory cannot go away. The Imamwara at that time, I thought it was huge. It was huge. And we had good julus during Muharram. Ashura time, the procession matam were being done on the streets, and there were 4 or 5 personalities that I can still hear their voice reciting Nohas, reciting Marshia.
Can you remember any of their names?
Yes. One is, of course, Malim Murtaza Bandal is dead. Oh, lovely. And then there was Mamsen Kukoni. His was special. Then Marhum Mullah Marumba. His, when it comes to Bibi Zainab's Mehfil, his Noha was another unique thing. So Muharrams were, and then there was live Zuljana being coming out, which if I try to explain to youngsters today or my children, they find it difficult to comprehend. And this is more. And then there's Kushali Bankro.
What is Kushali Bankro?
Kushali Bankro is 5 Panjatans Kushalis were celebrated outside the mosque.
Everyone participated?
Everybody. Naimisid, Chunnimisid. There were benches on the street, and there was a podium there with qasidas, lectures.
And the whole community accepted it as something celebratory.
Looking forward. And girls up to the age of 7, 8 would also come. So I remember my mom doing special new clothes for them, dresses. We look forward to go in time, and after that, of course, you get chocolates and sharbat and all. But all children, but because we sit on the benches, bankro, that is why it's called
Kushali
Bankro. And children would get gifts like pencils, rulers, this kind of thing. So amazing, and the streets were decorated just the way Christmas is being decorated here. Yeah, so that was.
Okay, now you've given us a very good insight into what was happening during your childhood. So now talk to us about your parents. How did they influence you?
My mother comes from Gulamhussein Darsi family.
Right. Is that the same Darsi that was from Zanzibar?
Yes, who started the Salsabil magazine, and one of the starters of the Tazia in Zanzibar.
So did you meet Gulahusseinbhai?
Yes.
What was he like?
Yeah, amazing guy, amazing. But I was a little then, but he used to come and visit my mother and at her home, so I would see him passing by with his
very dignified man.
And dignified, but a humble and nice, smiley face, lovely person. And my father came from Juma Sumar. They were in Sokoni, Sokomogo area of Zanzibar. Yeah. So, and my grandfather, Nana Bapa, was, I'm given to understand, the first Ithna-Asheri MBBS qualified doctor on that island.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and he had, alhamdulillah, good name and a good shafa in his hand. And even until now, when I visit Zanzibar or Dar es Salaam, people remember, oh, you are the grandson of Dr. Gulamhussein. So that gives me immense pleasure.
Zanzibar is in your blood.
It is. I am a Zanzibari boy.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so now all this very nice picture that you painted of Zanzibar, this was disturbed heavily in 1964 by Zanzibar Revolution. Yes. What happened? Were you there?
Yes, I was there, and I remember one day in the morning, I think it was Sunday, and hearing, we didn't know that these were the sounds of bullets, you know. Bam, 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 and suddenly we were told not to go out, nobody going out. Streets were quiet, and the difficulty is now when I see back that my dad used to work for the Sultan.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what was his position there?
He was his catering manager.
Right, okay.
Right. So I had the fortune of visiting the Zanzibar Palace a number of times, as well as the Sultan, Sayyid Khalifa's summer palace. So, and when it was Eid, my dad and I, and my sisters, we used to go to him and the Queen, and we would have, I never knew how to drink in a straw, in a big glasses. So there was Portello there, the red like winter. Portello.
Right,
so
very nice drink.
Oh, amazing. So
I still remember Portello.
Yeah, and it was made by a Rasul family.
That's right, from Dar es Salaam.
In Dar es Salaam.
Very nice Portello.
Yes, lovely. So this is in December. The revolution happened
in January?
In January 12th. And December 12th or 13th was the independence.
That's right.
We got, So it was hell there, and a few days we could not go out, or I don't know whether it was a few weeks, and then things cooled down, and we came to know about John Okello, who was behind the revolution, and there's a lot of people. Alhamdulillah, Ithna-Asheris were not killed in that.
But a lot of other people were.
But a few Ismailis, but Arabs were massacred and slaughtered. I hear it's about 28,000 Arabs were on a small island. Yeah, and I think my mom and dad then panicked because I had 7 sisters, and it was time to make a move. So my parents decided to move to Tanzania. And
where did they go first?
Yeah, Dar es Salaam for a day or two. We stayed in the Musafir Khana there. And my God, first time in a train, it takes 2-3 days to Mwanza.
To Mwanza, You went by train?
By train.
And this is in 1964?
64.
Right.
Yeah, April.
The train system was still good then.
Yeah. It was amazing, that journey.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Did you have a bunk bed to sleep on?
Yes. So we had 2 compartments. And and we arrived in Mwanza, and we stayed at one of my aunt's place for a while. And we missed that year's schooling because it was April, May, the school was started. We didn't have documents. like no passports, no birth certificate.
So, but you were able to enter Dar es Salaam, okay?
Yes. So I don't know how my dad managed with his influence, and we went by boat from Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam, and how he managed, I don't know. But the first official document that we got, it was called TP, temporary permit in those times. With the help of, alhamdulillah, marhum Ghulam Ali Fazil in Mwanza, who managed to get that, and that's how we got admission in schools in Mwanza. My sisters, myself.
So which school did you sort of attend in?
It was Aga Khan School.
Aga Khan School, okay.
Unfortunately, no other schools would take us, but my sister and I, Munira, we got admission in Aga Khan School, which was also...
So how long did you stay in Mwanza for?
From 64 to 74.
Right.
10 years.
Okay.
So there
you finished your secondary school there?
Yeah, I finished until Form 4. I studied there in a government school, and that's how my active community work started as a volunteer in
Mwanza.
In Mwanza. Becoming a volunteer, helping out in the masjid, Imamwa, in the Qabristan, and slowly becoming the secretary of HVC, and then...
Secretary of?
Husseini Volunteer Corps.
HVC. Okay.
HVC, yeah. And alhamdulillah, I was blessed to get a straight away good job after Form 4 as a young man at Tanganyika Bus Services, the largest private transport company.
Right. So you were in Mwanza after schooling.
Yes.
You stayed in Mwanza.
Yes. I finished my Form 4 in 1970, December, until August 74 I was in Mwanza. And there in Mwanza, the Jamaat work, and that I would say actively formulated, and in the end I became the youngest executive committee member of that Jamaat.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, I was given that opportunity.
That's the first step towards becoming a president of the, vice president of the COEJ.
COEJ,
right.
maybe, yes. But I think it was meant to be like that, and alhamdulillah.
So, now what happens? After Mwanza, you went to?
So after Mwanza, I went for my further studies to Scotland, Glasgow.
Right. How old were you then?
74, 22 years.
Married?
No.
Okay.
Single, and was in Mwanza, in Glasgow, doing my business studies. And here I met a good guy that you know, he's your friend, Mohsin Dharamsi.
All right.
Yeah, he used to be in Edinburgh. And alhamdulillah, this man, may Allah bless him, he realized that there are a lot of Snashi youths in Glasgow and Edinburgh. Not a lot, but quite a number, 20, 30. And so every last Sunday of the month, he made a majlis at his house in Edinburgh. So we were all looking forward to go to his house, because there was majlis, we would meet other students, Ithna-Asheries, and would have a good lunch at his house as well. So that's the time I started to know him personally and quite near, although I knew his family back from Zanzibar. Hussein Dharamsi Gangji,
So you sort of maintain contact with Mohsin-bhai?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
He's got that uniqueness, hasn't he? He tends to sort of tends to think a little bit more forward in many ways, and then actually brings it about as well. I mean, he realized that there are students in Glasgow and Edinburgh, and he decided to sort of be a catalyst to bring them together.
Absolutely.
So I've seen in his life, he tends to do that sort of a thing, become a catalyst for a new venture.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, that has paid off for the community in such a good way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The community is indebted to him, I would say.
Yes,
because he has worked so hard.
He has.
Even here, when this place
still at
was
this age, he would still be a catalyst for many things.
Yeah, and even now when I went 3 years ago to Bhavnagar to see him,
Yeah.
my God, he's about 86, 87 now, I think.
Doesn't look it though, does he?
Yeah, but he's so humble and he works hard.
He does.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So now, what happened after that?
Yeah, so one day I got a call from my father in Mwanza that Fuima Bimar I in Sweden.
You're a Kachchi.
Yeah, we speak Kachchi at home. So now my father never traveled abroad, and he thought like Stockholm is like Morogoro from Dar es Salaam. You know?
So your Fuima was in Stockholm.
Yeah, but Fuima by name only. She was neighbor in Mwanza, our neighbor, and she took my father as a brother, so we call her Fuima.
Right. So
in that way,
she was not well.
No, yeah, she wasn't well. So my father said, "Look, go and have a look at her, because now I've heard twice, thrice that she's not well. If she is really bad, then I will come." Because visas will take time, ticket, and we were not financially sound to.
But he felt very close to you.
Yes, yes. So I took this long weekend British Airways ticket Thursday to Monday, and I went to Maarsta, to Stockholm, and I stayed at Fuima's son Anwar Daya, who is my friend until now, and I went to see her. So this was late August 77. So I went there and saw her, and not knowing that the next day a gentleman from the apartment above, from 5th floor, comes to see me, because Anwar says, your father's friend is here, he wants to see you. I said, fine. So this is Marhum Pyar Ali Bandali.
Yes.
So he and his wife, they came to see me. It was Friday, I remember, and said, "Oh, tomorrow is Saturday, we'll have dinner together." Right. So obviously we went for the dinner. I went for the dinner with Anwar Bhai and Fuima, did that. And we were very well taken, and somehow that's where I first met my wife. Right, and one thing led to another, this, that, and then I decided, I think he and my father, they talked, and we got engaged.
So she was the daughter of who?
Of Marhum Pyar Ali
Bandali.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how your connection became more close.
Yes.
And he was living in Maarsta at the time.
In Maarsta.
Did they have a Jamaat at the time there?
No Jamaat, nothing. And on Thursdays, there used to be program at the house. And sometimes at Ghulam Ali Dhala's house, who is now in Birmingham.
That's right. He used to run Bilal.
Bilal, yeah, he still runs, yeah. So, having attended 3-4 Thursdays, I started to feel...
So you are now staying in Maarsta?
In Maarsta.
You stayed in Maarsta?
Yeah.
And got married there?
No, not yet married.
All right.
Intended to get married and hopefully to stay there, as my wife was still doing her studies.
Okay.
So we registered, and she promised that she will move back with me to Glasgow, which didn't happen.
Right. So you got married?
We got married later on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So we just got engaged, and we got registered to be able to process the papers. So one day after the Majlis, a Thursday Majlis, I think it was October, I said, why don't we build a Jamaat? So Marhum Pyar Ali Bhai said, look, it's not an easy work. We need a secretary, a treasurer, a president, people to to work, to form this. We need a constitution, I said. And having discussed that, we agreed informally that we were there, about 5 of us, Marhum Pyar Ali Bhai Bandali, Ghulam Ali Bhai Dala, Zulfikar Ali Bhai, Anwar Daya, and myself. We said, look, we will call a meeting, formalize everything, but let's agree to form a Jamaat. And so we said, yes, we will form a Jamaat. So I was assigned to to make a constitution. And we decided to call a meeting on 13th December 1977. And we were 13 members all in all.
All Khoja Shia
all Ithna-Asheries from East Africa. And I urgently got a copy of Mwanza Jamat constitution, and Dar es Salaam Jamat simplified it, and we adopted as our constitution. So our first president was Marhum Pyar Ali Bhai Bandali, and was there for many years. Zulfikar Ali Bhai vice president, Ghulam Ali Dala our treasurer, myself as the secretary, and Anwar Bhai as the committee member. So that's how the Jamaat was formed on 13th December with 13 members.
1977.
December. Yeah.
And you then stayed in Maarsta.
In Maarsta.
Okay.
So then we hired a 1-room flat to be as our place of worship. And we had all those things, like every Thursday, kushalis and this, but we didn't have any lecture or anything like that. And from 1 room to 2 room, and now word started spreading around that there is a Jamaat here.
In Maarsta.
In Maarsta.
Trollhattan Jamaat was already formed?
Yeah, that was already formed, and that was far away, about 400 kilometers. So there were few families, 3, 4, 5 families who were
sort of spread around?
Spread around south of Stockholm. So
they started
coming. And then some Shia Pakistanis started coming. And then, of course, and we worked hard to get people who wanted to move to Europe to come to Sweden. So, and we did. From 13 members in 77, we grew up to 150 members. By 1988, year 2000. So, yeah, one thing.
So now, when did you have your own center then?
Yeah, this was when you were there, when you came there, 93 September.
93 September, yeah.
It was Bibi Zainab's Kushali, Alhamdulillah. Mullah Sahib was there. That was, but a year or 2 ago, we acquired an office block, and that was, we made into our center. And World Federation played an important role financially. Again, Mohsin Ramsi, Mullah Sahib was amazing. And that's how we got our center, and we still have that.
The same center?
Same center.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Same center, and we held the World Federation conference during
Executive
that time.
Council meeting, that's right. Yes, it was an important meeting.
Yes. So this
Did you have any difficulties as far as funding is concerned, or changing the use of it from the government? How cooperative was the government?
Yeah, the government was we had good rapport, because at that time I was still waiting for my permit, so I was not allowed to work. So I had some time and communicating with the local council, meeting them. But it wasn't easy. But I think we worked hard, all of us, and eventually having good rapport with the local council. But the most difficult and challenging was to get a burial place.
Because that's very important, isn't it?
That's very important. There were one or two senior people, but moth can come with anyone. So that took us 7 years.
Really?
To get that, and even that was an accident.
So what happened then?
Yeah. So like two big parties, political parties, Conservative and Labour Party. So the local council in Maarsta was ruled or in the power of Labour for 36 years. Conservative lost, the time I'm talking about, I don't know, 93, 95, only by 26 votes. One day, I was washing my car outside my home. It was a sunny day, and politicians go around.
Yeah, distributing the pamphlet.
Yes, yeah, vote for us. And there was this young man, gentleman, who came and said, "Oh, can I disturb you for a minute?" And he started telling me, "Oh, nice house." I said, "Yeah, thank you." Say, you have a minute? I am sorry to disturb you. I said, "Yeah, come in." He was taken aback, a foreigner telling him, "Come inside, have tea or coffee." I think he didn't expect that. He came in. And he said that next month or what there's, and he would like to explain me about the Conservative Party and this. And he said, "What can I do for you?" So at that time I was the president of the Jamat, and I manipulated. I'm not, because we don't allow to discuss politics in the Jamat. I said, "Look, I have got 120 votes in my hand. Last time you lost by 20 votes, and you are now asking me, we need a burial place."
So it will be tit for tat.
Yeah. So he said, I think he knew I have 120 votes is a lot. I never told to the public. I did advise my EC that this is the thing. But he happened to sit for 30 minutes with me, and he said, "Look, even if we lose, it is my turn to be the mayor of or the leader of the church. All the burial places are controlled by the church there. My grandmother is half Finnish, and she wants to be buried, if she dies, to Finland. So I don't see why you should not have your own burial ground." Said, "Win or lose," he gave me his hand, "I promise you, after the election, come and see me, and I will do my utmost." They won. So he thinks, or he thought, that my votes
played a role.
Played a role. So on winning, I sent a congratulation letter, and after 2 or 3 weeks, I went to see him with Pyarlibhai and Gulahusseinbhai. I said, "Right, that's the main burial place of Maarsta. Your requirements are a little bit different. You need your graves to be Qibla side. We don't change side here. So I will allocate you in a far corner." I said, "That's perfect for us." So he asked me, "How many graves place do you need?" So I thought we are only 100, so 10 places would be enough. I said, "I will allocate you 25 places." How foresighted he was. And that's how we got the burial.
And now you can go beyond 25.
Yes, now we have got even more now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that is the story.
Maslahat-e-ilahi, isn't it? That a man came in on Sunday when you're washing a car.
Absolutely. So that was the big difficulty. But alhamdulillah, we got that. And then the next was to get halal food for our nursery schools and daycares.
All right, okay. What happened there?
That was a conflict there because there were other Muslim children going there and they would eat unhalal, so they found it difficult. Why
you want a halal when they are eating non-halal?
Yeah. Turkish Muslim or other Muslim. So we invited them, had a few meetings, and it was agreed, fine. For your community, children who come to these or wherever we will provide
it.
So that was lovely.
So engaging with them helps, doesn't it?
Of course, and to explain to them, and it shows once we never realized, coming from Africa, that once we had our center, they were keen. The schools, primary schools around us were keen
to come
and visit and see our center, and we would offer them samosas and tea or naan khatais, and they found these are very friendly people, you know. So
what is the center like now? Who do we still run it?
We have
families
yes, we have. Only yesterday was Kushali there. It needs now a big refurbishing.
All right.
So they had an AGM yesterday in Meshta, and of course the population has dwindled, but it's active there. Madrasa is running, the programs are running, and Alhamdulillah, I am glad that when we formed the Jamaat, we didn't have money to have resident, but my father was the first resident alim. My mother started the madrasa there from 3 girls until 80 students came. And
so how did your mom and dad end up in Sweden?
Yeah. That's
because your mom was in
Mwanza.
Was in Mwanza.
Mwanza. Everybody
and
was
probably family were in.
Yeah, they're all in Mwanza. My 5 siblings and my parents, they were in Mwanza. So I was getting married in June 79. And my mom and dad, I said, you need to come, and they wanted to come, and now there were 1, 2, 3, 4 siblings left there. And I said, please come, all of you, right? Visas at that time you could get for 1 month.
For all of them?
For all of them. So they came, but we had planned that if they liked it, we will endeavor or we will look into
settling
them there. So they came, we got married, my siblings were there and my parents, and they said, fine, okay, we will try our luck. And I was, since before them coming, I had already worked on a few snatched families from East Africa, from Tanzania. So about 30 people had already come, and there was genuine way of people who are being persecuted or had past history to settle down in Sweden.
If there was a past history of a persecution or something like that,
then
Sweden
will
accept.
Yeah. So we applied for my parents, explaining to them what my dad was doing in Zanzibar, our interaction with the king, Sultan, and all that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we didn't have any photographs or no documentation.
They needed evidence of that.
They needed evidence. So we tried to explain that we actually, all of us, were refugees from Zanzibar too.
Initially,
how we struggled to get documentation. And then It only helped because Tanganyika and Zanzibar became one in April 64. It was a union, it became one. Yeah, Tanzania, otherwise it used to be gone. So to cut the matter short, they stayed there for about 1.5 years, and they were rejected. And the final appeal also we had lost. So now we were told
of going back to Tanzania.
On Thursday we got an information from our advocates that time is run, tickets are booked. Monday or Tuesday, KLM, he used to fly, they're all going back. So this information we got on a Thursday. So Thursday night we have, like usual at home after dinner, we have programs of, and there everybody said now 3-4 days left before going. So one of my sisters, Latifa, is asking, Papa, I chonda ke aanke Buckingham Palace Princess Margaret the certificate of you biryani jo ye kitte hai? Oh yeah. So my father didn't say anything. He was, I think, now
towards Tanzania.
Yeah, every year.
He was given up.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So I said, Papa, I had also forgotten. Yes. I amote ayana. Then he tells me in Swahili, just forget it, you know. Now let's plan how to packing Marrakeja and go. I, Papa, he calls my mother Siki, and he said, Siki, ebum tole ba kwenye briefcase. It's there in the briefcase.
Right.
My mom brings, and the briefcase comes, and this certificate is there. Now it's almost 10 o'clock.
Night.
Tomorrow is Friday. Monday we are leaving.
Right.
If you have any chance to see the advocate, is tomorrow.
Right.
And you don't call your advocates in Sweden. It's out of etiquette at night. I'm calling. His name is Hans Joran Frank. So, Mr. Frank, I said, Mr. Sumar, is this genuine? I've been working on your case for 1 year now. You haven't mentioned. I said, yes, we just remember. It's here. Come to my office tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So I went with Dad. When now his office was like Colombo type, all antique tables. And he took his magnifying glass, started looking at me.
Yeah. The advocate.
The advocate. So he said, I need to get it verified. If it is genuine, and then we have something new, because all your old reasons have failed. So he sent this to the Ministry of Foreign Ministry. They have some way of contacting to find out.
Verifying it.
Yeah. He said, call me at 2 o'clock and I'll see if we get anything. So I called him at 2 o'clock. I said, good news. Buckingham Palace have confirmed that this was issued and it is here. This shows your dad's connection with the king, and he got this certificate from there, it came there. So now this is something extraordinary. You don't need to come here now. I'm writing to the government to cancel the Monday plan, and you will hear from me. So at least that weekend was Kushali in our home and everything. And after 3-4 months, their application was accepted. The application was accepted, and so they got legal status to stay. And that's how the Jamaat decided, we don't have a mullah here, we don't have an alim, it's going to take time. So, and my father willingly, with pleasure, he agreed to to do all the process, and my
So
mother
he became the alim.
the alim, resident alim, and my mother is Muliani and madrasa teacher and this and that and that. So alhamdulillah, this is how the
So how did you end up here now?
Yeah, I ended up here is again in Sweden. While we are settling down, our Jamaat has now settled down. To get Asian grocery was difficult. Like to get binda and green chilies, you have to go to Stockholm, 50 kilometers, and that's only and halal meat once a week. You are late, it's gone. So, but we survived all this. Now there's plentiful available. Fine. So it became, we got two sons, they went to school there. And now my sons were now at the age of going to high school. And it was always disturbing us that, and they also thought, they were fascinated, my both sons, Khoja and Kathiawad. Papa, you're talking about you have friends all over the world. You know, America, Canada, UK, this, Birmingham. And we thought now, how will they find their friends for life? So we decided that we make a move. Our ultimate aim was to move to Canada. Something happened, we didn't move to Canada. My parents already got their rights there. My two sisters, they sponsor my parents. So then we decided the next best place, because Sweden was now in EU, so we can move here. So 2001, we decided to move here in September. 1st September 2001, my son went to Form 5 year, and one went to college. But it was difficult because they had to wear a uniform here, black shoes, tie, and housing, hot water there, cold water there, dripping. So it was
not as good a standard in
Scandinavia. So they just, but I used to come weekend only here because my business was still there. So, but one thing led to another. They got married, alhamdulillah, and then now they say, Papa, this is the best decision you took because
the community life is much better.
Yes, they are quite active and all is good.
So coming to the community now, you were a president of Maarsta. So when you came here, you used to attend, I remember, lots of meetings at WF, COEJ.
Yes.
And then you got involved with COEJ leadership. You became the vice president. What made you take up that?
No, I think it's all thing is by chance. Of course, I'm ambitious. I like to work for the community, and Dr. Hussein Jiwa, who also thought it's time that we have somebody from Europe, not only from UK. And I considered that and accepted and to be his vice president, and I ran for that post, and I became vice president. And before that, I was a councillor, and a number of occasions I was councillor for World Federation. I've met you a few times.
I know. I used to be COEJ vice president, and then Executive Council of the World Federation, and then Secretary General.
Yes.
And that's how we connected quite a lot.
Yes.
And in fact, I still remember the first time meeting you in 1993, I believe, in Maarsta.
Yeah.
I came from airport to Mr. Bandali's house.
Okay.
And then you were there, and then you dropped me at the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. And you were smoking at that time.
I still do. I still do.
So I remember. That's what
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. And the good thing, if I may say.
And you looked after us, by the way.
Alhamdulillah. And the good thing is, if I may say now this to you, I did ask you for an advice. And I can't thank you enough for that advice. I asked you, Mullah Sahib is coming. We have arranged a suite for him in the hotel. Is it appropriate? Okay, does it look, and you told me, Gulambhai, Mullah Sahib, પ્રેસિડેન્ટ ના ઘરે હોય કે કોઈની ઘરે તો બહુ જ સારું ને માનનું કહેવાય. I listened to that. I talked to my wife, and we immediately, so Mullah Sahib stayed 3-4 days at our home. And my children still remember that. We remember that.
What a wonderful opportunity, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, I had met Mullah Sahib number of times.
Now he's at home and
but
you can talk to him.
Yes, yes. Now he is my guest. And amazing guy. Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah. One thing leads to another. You see. Yeah.
But tell me, as a vice president, you were seeing the working of our community from
distance,
right at the top.
Yeah.
World Federation level.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that? How did you used to sort of,
yes.
Was it a different, when you were a councillor or representing your Jamaat,
yes.
you used to see the leadership at that level.
True.
Now you were there, actually making decisions.
True.
So,
one of the people making decisions.
one of them,
yes,
of course.
Yes.
But how did you feel and what was your experience like?
Yeah, my experience was, a lot of people think that to become a vice president is a very ceremonial post, or you just wait when the president
in Gujarati we say Soba no Gantio. Okay?
Yeah. So
it's a decorative piece.
Yes. But before me coming, the constitution was changed from 2 years to 3 years, and the vice president's role was all the sub-bodies come under the vice president.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right? From Hajj mission, education, orphanage, all this. So it was a lot of work. So I used to fly every Friday here, and if we didn't have meeting at Stratham in South, we had meeting, visiting other Jamaats as well. It was interesting, very interesting. Come to know a lot of things, understanding different Jamaats' thinking, and but because I have been involved or coming from a small Jamaat, right, seeing from the scratch of the Jamaat, I could associate a lot of things about small Jamaats. But the bigger Jamaats, they have their own machinery.
And they can survive independently if they wish,
yes.
or Jamaat dependent upon small Jamaat.
Yes. Like, for example, hujjat, who did not rely financially anything from COEJ, and COEJ didn't have anything. But it was amazing to make new friends and coming to know new people. And the challenges like Eid Chand and other things as well. And amazing. But one thing I must say, to remind the people how has Maarsta Jamaat also contributed. Not only did it produce, for example, a vice president from a small Jamaat, not only did it produce a secretary general now, Arif Hiriji, from my Jamaat, but people like Shabar Dalla, Shani Abbas, they all came about, not fully our making, but we did this. The one of the success story of COEJ is Swedish camp.
And that is also Mohsin Dharamsi's brainchild.
Yes. I received a call from Mohsin Dharamsi. Yeah. And my God, the first group camp was 65 people in a coach. And this we facilitated for 7 years, 6 to 7 years. And
a lot of friendships were built.
Yes,
then, yeah.
even those guys who came there then as mentor or as student have bonded, are still friends, and I'm a little bit saddened that it has not functioning as it should be.
Yeah,
now.
it was one of the very good concepts that should have been developed and
much, yes,
and should be existing even today. Yeah,
yes.
That's the unfortunate part of it. But
Yeah.
so that is that's a good point. A lot of leadership material does come from small Jamaat. You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Of course, bigger Jamaats always have a bigger role to play.
Yes,
but small Jamaats also have its role to play. No, but that's interesting. So as a VP, can you remember one good thing that you have done or decision that you participated in? It's difficult?
No, it's difficult just to remember, but I know for certain that I did my best coming from Stockholm every Saturday, Friday, and going to attend the meetings.
Good commitment, yeah.
Yeah, at that time is Marhum Ratansi, what's his name?
Munawar
Ratansi, yeah, it was under his time. What a fabulous guy as well.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things.
Absolutely, a nice gentleman. So and he would listen, so from that time, and my involvement with European Hajj mission, how it became as its own entity, a strong entity, I followed that up properly, and I think I'm happy whatever I could offer in my way to COEJ at that time. And coming back a little bit only to Maarsta Jamaat, I think we were one, if not the first Jamaat in Europe to have ladies membership.
Oh, really?
In 1977, December, our constitution, we had individual membership.
You are very far-sighted.
Yeah, very far-sighted, and I tried to talk this in COEJ and all that. I think it's catching up now, but I think it is a very healthy.
I think the Swedish Society at the time, the law required that there should be an equal membership in every sort of local constitution as well. And I think that perhaps that also played a role, maybe, because
I think in the back of mind, it wasn't by law, but because we worked in such a society in Sweden, even at workplace, everything, the ladies' role was quite prominent. Prominent.
Even compared to Europe, rest of Europe, Swedish had that differences. So Gulamhussein, now the last couple of questions. One of them is, of course, how do you see the state of Jamaat Regional Federation, World Federation, that sort of a structure? Do you think that Jamaat Regional World structure is serving us well, or do you think that we need to have a change in that? Given your experience.
Yes. I am for the World Federation.
No, I'm talking about the structure.
Yeah, the structure.
Jamaat Regional and
yes,
it's a geographical structure.
I am for the structure, but I'm afraid that we are not doing enough. The WF, the COEJ are not doing enough. Because when I talk sometimes with the youths of my son's age and that, they feel disenchanted with our parent body like World Federation. And I have had the opportunity, you could not come a couple of times at my home with World Federation presidents for dinner. You were one time sick, and I have taken up whenever I can with our leaders that something needs to be done. I don't have the magic, but we need to work more in engaging the youths. And for example, even now that we have been searching for so many years a center instead of this one, I think we could have involved the youth in a bit more, because there are a lot of youth in our community who are in the profession, like bankers, financiers, properties. Are we tapping their resources enough, or what are we doing? So in that way, but again, it's difficult for me just to influence. I can only talk and share my
That's right,
my views, and
I think you have a point about disenchantment.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the rationale that you gave, but then there is also, I think, that sense. The youngsters don't have that sense of ownership. This is what I am finding with the regional or the world as much as, for example, we used to have at one time. Their sort of sense of ownership stretch up to Jamaat much more strongly, because they can relate to the Jamaat. They have their gatherings and weddings and all that, burial, madrasa, they've grown up. But when it comes to regional level of functioning, or a World Federation level of functioning, they do not have the grasp and the sense of ownership with them, although they understand the need for it, but they don't relate it to as much as we do. And that needs to change.
Yeah, let me come back to the Jamaat level. I'm for that all our Khoja Jamaat should be known as Khoja, for example, for whatever reasons. I think there are good reasons about it. And membership, but some of the youths today think that only Khojas can become member of an institution. And they argue. And I hear from even in my family, and say, what happens if Bar my mom comes tomorrow and he's not a Khoja? How will we tackle his role there? It's a complex.
I think he will understand why we have made that Khoja. I'm sure he'll understand.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but you see, but I'm not against these youth who think, but we need to engage more with these youth and
absolutely. I think it's a matter of understanding.
Yes.
Matter of education. That why, for example, we tended to keep the word Khoja is because of our past history and heritage and all that. And just like the Iraqis would mention Iraqi as their sort of cultural heritage, and Irani their cultural heritage.
Yeah.
We are mentioning our cultural heritage, but our services are mainly open to everyone. And when it comes to membership, I mean, it's not beyond our wit not to work something out so that everyone can participate. But that is a matter of education and all that. And to create a scenario of confrontation within the community, because I remember 1960s, we had this conversation about whether should we keep Khoja or not, decided to keep Khoja. Every time when there is a constitutional meeting about the word Khoja, we do come back to, well, let's keep Khoja. So there is, the rationale is that we have a unique heritage that we want to preserve, and so that our younger generation understand they don't forget their heritage. If they forget their heritage, obviously their background will be lost, and then obviously without that background, sometimes if somebody asks them a question, oh, what's your background? If they have that understanding of it, it's be richer for them. But when it comes to contemporaneous issues of membership and all that, it's a matter of sitting down and working through, because many Jamaats in the United States have adopted some sort of accommodation like that. So living in the West, we have to obviously create some model that will accommodate such feelings and aspirations. So anyway, coming back to the community, the last question now, you have any message for the community about how you see the future of challenges in the community? I know you have spoken about some of it. But if you have any, finally.
Nothing in particular, but I do believe that our language, culturally, that should somehow, we should all work together to preserve, whether it's Gujarati or Kachchi.
Both of them.
Both of them. And to some extent Swahili as well.
Why not? In fact, our language, Gujarati, our language, it is Khoja Shia Ithna-Asheri Gujarati language, accommodates English and Kiswahili within its language words. So we have that uniqueness in the sense that we speak Gujarati, but with a lot of foreign words, and that is our Gujarati. So
So and if I may add, the Jamaats in Europe, almost most of them have their centers now. But that doesn't mean our duty is done.
No.
There are still small Jamaats who are struggling, and those Jamaats who have flourished or are stronger, we need to think the social issues, marriages, divorces, old age, these are the issues that COEJ, World Federation Jamaat have to strongly think about it, you know.
I think it's a very good point. Gulambhai, you made a very good point, and I think that in the future, such work needs to be done. We need to have proper statistics and data, and particularly the struggles the small Jamaats do have, including big Jamaats.
Even big Jamaats.
These issues are there, and I think we all need to work towards that. I think on that basis, I think we should now, I think 1.25 hours just
I'm sorry,
just gone. So I think we'll stop there.
Right.
But anyway, I think you had a very interesting history to tell us.
Thank you.
Your family history, Maarsta history, how the Jamaat was formed, how the 1977, the first constitution, and how 5 of you became there.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for
having me. And that is a foundation upon which the Maarsta Jamaat was built.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gulambhai, it was so nice, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And with that note, we will say goodbye. And till next week, inshallah, we will meet again. Not next week, I think. Next time, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz. Khuda Hafiz. Khuda Hafiz.